Hey guys, this is Austin. Even though this might look like a large box, inside is one of the most powerful and smallest gaming computers that you can buy. Inside this guy is the wonderfully named Zotac Magnus EK7 1080, which stands for a really powerful, very small computer, I think. So if you guys are familiar with Zotac, you know that they've been making small bare bones PCs for quite a while now, and this is sort of the next evolution of that, as instead of having something that's meant for like an office, like kind of a low-end computer, this is a proper gaming box. The idea with their bare bones is that while this does have important components, like obviously the case and power supply, as well as a processor and graphics card, there's no memory, there's no SSD, and there's no OS. The idea here is that you can pretty much supply whatever you want with this guy. But inside, you're getting a Core i7-7700HQ processor, as well as a full GTX 1080. Crack this guy open and we get a giant thank you for your purchase. Oh, we also get the kind of giant power adapter. So hopefully you don't have a problem with an enormous 330 watt power brick that's sitting outside your computer, which is actually probably about the same size as it. But I mean, I guess with the GTX 1080 inside, you can't be too picky. We also have our antennas for the built-in Wi-Fi, as well as the power cord. And inside here, we have the actual system itself. So it's not that big. I'd say it's about the size of like a tall shoebox, maybe? That is a very dense little computer. Again, keep in mind, this has a GTX 1080 inside. So the top is pretty much nothing but ventilation, which makes sense considering the hardware inside. But up front, we get not only an SD card reader, but also a full-size USB 3 port, a USB Type-C port, as well as headphone and microphone jacks. Around back, it's fairly basic. We have 4 more USB 3.0 ports, where we actually install the antennas for our Wi-Fi, a pair of Ethernet jacks, which is kind of interesting, and then you get your 3 display ports, DVI, and HDMI from the video card. One of the nice parts about buying a bare-bones system is that it comes pretty much ready to work on. So on bottom here, we can install not only a SATA SSD, but also an M2 drive or an Intel Octane drive at the same time, but you also have a pair of DDR4 SODIMM slots for your RAM. So now we have the Z-Box all set up. All it took was installing 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, as well as a 512 gigabyte SSD, throwing a copy of Windows on here, and we are good to go. So first off, we have GTA 5. Even though it's a little bit of an older game, it still can be surprisingly taxing, and here running at 2560 by 1080, we're getting pretty decent frame rates between 70 to 90. Now, this is an ultra-wide monitor that does have G-Sync, so that 80 to 90 frames per second looks great, but in theory, we could run it all the way up to 166 frames per second if we wanted to bring the graphics settings down a little bit. That being said, on this giant ultra-wide, this looks really good, especially considering how tiny the PC is. It's crazy that this game can run on an Xbox 360, and yet it'll also look just this awesome on a proper PC with a nice monitor. Moving on, we have Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, while this might not be the most popular game in the world, it still looks really nice, especially when you give it some good hardware to work with. And here at 2560 by 1080, with pretty much everything cranked up, we're pretty much hitting 70 to 80 frames per second. I was about to say that our next game is PUBG, but while I'm in the loading screen, I'm realizing that even this stupid open area here is running at like 100 frames per second. This is gonna be good. We're skydiving down at 105 frames per second with G-Sync enabled. So it shouldn't be a surprise that a GTX 1080 system is able to run PUBG smoothly, but what is nice is just how easily it's able to run it while still being quiet. So there is a little bit of coil whine I notice when you're actually really taxing the CPU, but the graphics seem to be running pretty cool. To put the size of this in context, this is the previous version, the Zotac EN1070. Now, as you can see, it is much, much smaller. However, not only did it have a less powerful GTX 1070 inside, but it also didn't run anywhere near the same clock speeds of this 1080. I should probably not cover the exhaust. The question though is the Z-Box worth it? Well, before we answer that, I've got to give a huge shout out to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video. Maybe they could also sponsor this guy's next shave. So odds are, if you're a well-groomed person in the world, you've probably bought razors in the store, and you realize that it is a terrible experience all the way around, based on having to ask someone to go get the key, they have no idea what they're actually talking about, and they're really expensive. Dollar Shave Club fixes all of that in a box that shows up right at your doorstep. Right now, you can try their shower and shave trial, which includes not only their executive razor handle, but you're also getting 4 blades, as well as a trial of 3 of their most popular products. See, even Dollar Shave Club censors it. No demonetization here. So if you are ready to up your shaving game, head over to dollarshaveclub.com/Austin. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Austin, and huge shout out to Dollar Shave Club for helping to support the channel. At $1,500 for the barebone kit, or $1,800 if you don't want to deal with it and just get it with memory, SSD, as well as Windows pre-installed. This guy definitely doesn't come cheap. However, when you consider just how expensive it is to build yourself a PC today, especially with high-end components like this, that price isn't too crazy. And of course, getting something that's this small that you don't have to build yourself is a huge plus. It's not for everyone, but Zotac has built the most powerful small form factor gaming PC I've ever tried. So I'm curious, what do you guys think about the Zotac Z-Box? Let me know in the comments below and I will catch you on the next one.